Are you trying to buy a home in today's market? Has it gotten you a little bit stressed out because there's little inventory and all the homes just kind of disappear before you can even have a chance to put an offer in? Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 tips to make this a little less stressful and hopefully get you the home that you really want. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Living in Lexington. This is Ben Murphy. I'm with eXp Realty, and we are talking about buying a home in today's market of 2023, which is crazy. It's a little bit intense right now for some buyers out there because homes just don't last that long. And we have a very, very small inventory going on, and it has been consistent throughout this entire year. And there's no signs of any inventory kind of sprouting up. So, kind of knowing how to navigate the market, especially if you're a home buyer, that will just make this a little bit easier. So, we're going to talk about 5 tips that are going to make this process a little less stressful, and it's going to give you the information you need to attack the market and make sure we get you the home that you most want and most likely what everyone else wants. First question you have to ask yourself is, how serious am I about buying this home? I know that may seem like a silly question to ask, but when I go over these tips here shortly, if you have hesitations or if you reject a lot of what's going to be said here, you may not be that serious about buying a home, and you may just be kind of hoping something falls in your lap. That's not how today's market's going at all. So if you're truly serious about it, then you're going to take these tips and you're going to run with them. Now, before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and like the video. It's going to make sure anyone who's trying to research a little bit more about buying a home in today's market, it's going to make this a little bit easier for them. It's going to help them learn these tips as well. If you're one of those people who's researching, trying to find that next home here in the Lexington, Kentucky area, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and give me a phone call, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. Let me know what your goals are, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that process is easy for you. Without further ado, let's jump into these tips. First tip right out of the gate, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the one that is most overlooked, is you need to have a pre-approval done with a lender or a bank. I got to tell you, this is one of those things that really hurts most buyers, especially when the home comes up. When I'm talking about the home that you've been waiting for maybe for a month or two to show up. It fits all your criteria. It's in the neighborhood you want. It's in the school district you want. And you're not even pre-approved. And the reason that that could be an issue is because you can't put an offer in without it. Now, if you're paying all cash, all you need is a letter from your bank saying, yep, they got the funds. Here's the amount that they've got. Boom. That's easy. That's not too hard. But going through the process of getting pre-approved, you've got to put in bank record information. You got to put in your pay stub information. And it's not like they can just turn around and give it to you within 10 minutes. Now, sometimes it takes a business day for some lenders out there to get yourself pre-approved. And let me tell you, I've worked with buyers where the home came up and I've been begging them, I've been asking them for weeks at that point, go ahead and get pre-approved. Let's get you pre-approved. So when the home comes up, we can put an offer in. And long story short, home was sold before we could even get the pre-approval in place. And so no seller in today's market is going to accept an offer without a proof of funds. So it's the easiest step, but it's also kind of one of the most important steps at the same time. And it's the one that's always overlooked. So check the description box down below. If you are in the area and you're trying to get pre-approved, I got a link with my top lender that I work with. He's very good. And it's a very easy process to get you pre-approved. So like I said, you don't want to wait. And with the interest rates fluctuating, you don't know if they're going to go up. You don't know what's going to happen. You want to lock in that interest rate before it does decide to go up. Okay, tip number 2, ladies and gentlemen, that will make your chances of getting that home much better is, you definitely want to go look at the home. You want to be able to get into that home the day it hits the market. You don't want to wait a day. You don't want to wait 2 days. You don't want to wait 3 days. Our most recent listing did not even get through the weekend. We posted it on 8 a.m. Friday. We were sold by 6 p.m. Sunday. Okay? You do not want to wait. You want to be the first person in that home, and especially if it checks off every single one of your requirements. Like I said, the neighborhood, the school district, the size, bedroom, baths. If it checks off all those boxes and it looks like it's the home on paper, you've got to get into the home and make sure it is that home. So I know this could be a little difficult step for my out-of-state people who are trying to move in. One of the things that I've done in the past when I've worked with California buyers, New York buyers, or people from Michigan, Florida, whatever it is, and they cannot physically be there, I know that could be really, really scary to buy a home unseen. We go and we actually do our own photos. We do a video tour of the property. We try to make sure you can see what the home is and how it looks. Again, I know it's not the perfect method, but adding that extra little step does relieve some stress for my out-of-state buyers. But if you are in the area and you have the opportunity to get into the home that day to see it, you got to do it. If you got to use your lunch break that day, you got to go and use that lunch break that day, and you got to get in. And that's what, again, working with a real estate agent that this is their full-time job makes that easier, because then they don't have to worry about getting off their other job. Okay, if this real estate's their side hustle, they're not going to get in there until that evening. Okay, so you want to get into that home. You want to be on that MLS notification update daily. You want to make sure the moment it hits the market, you know about it and you are getting into that home. Tip number 3, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to trying to make sure you get the home that you want in today's market, go over the offer beforehand. Now, I know that might be a little difficult, especially if you don't know what the home price is, some of the details of the home, but there are some questions that you and your realtor can go over that I like to go over with my clients, because then once I have certain details, plugging in an offer is very, very quick at that point. It's very, very easy. And then that way I can turn around and get that offer to you as fast as we can, because then at that point, once you go over your earnest deposit, how much you plan to put down, your financing questions, with that way he doesn't have to keep calling your lender, or she has to call your lender to go over like what, down payment, all this other stuff. Having a lot of that answered actually makes writing up an offer very, very easy and very, very quick. Again, all you got to do at that point is what are you offering purchase price wise, closing date, get your signatures, put the offer in. So it's all about timing. Time is of the essence in today's market, and that's what a lot of these tips are kind of leaning towards. If you haven't noticed that already, being the first one there, being the first offer in is critical in today's market. And I've helped a couple from New York move down here into the Lexington, Kentucky area, more like Richmond area, and home of their dreams popped up. We were there within the first hour that it hit the market. We had an offer in 20 minutes later because I went ahead and pre-wrote the offer. We were talking about it as I was driving down there. I finished up some of the details as they were looking around because I knew they were going to like it. I knew that they wanted it. We just fixed the purchase price, closing date, submitted. They signed it right on the spot, immediately sent it into the realtor. Within an hour and a half, we had it under contract. I mean, and I talked to the listing agent the next day. I mean, they had tons of requests to come see this house, but we gave a good offer and the seller said, all right, let's go. So I know it might seem extreme, but in today's market, when it's the house that you want, you kind of got to go all in. You got to be ready to rock and roll. And so having an offer details written beforehand, so then all he's got to do is change the address and change some of the other information. It can make that process very, very quick, and getting that offer in quickly is critical when it comes to kind of standing out, which kind of leads us into tip number 4. Be the first offer in. You want to be the first person saying, hey, I want to buy your home. And that's a huge impression on the seller, especially if you're there the day it hits the market. You're there within the first 4 or 5 hours, it's on the market, and then you have an offer coming in almost immediately. It's really cool, and it's really impressive to sellers when it tells you the seriousness of how serious you are about buying this home. If you went in and had an offer in almost immediately, they're like, okay, yeah, these people are serious. They're not messing around. They really, really want to buy this home, which gives them confidence in accepting that offer. Okay, it's all about making your offer look really, really good and being the first person to say, hey, I want to buy your home. It leaves a huge mark on the seller, especially when it comes to picking an offer, especially if they got multiple offers coming in. Yours being the first is going to increase your chances of getting that home and landing that contract. With all of that, that leads us to tip number 5. Ladies and gentlemen, this one might be a little bit tough, but you have to have minimal contingencies on your offer. Now, if you've never put an offer on a home, what is a contingency? Well, a contingency could be, I want a full house inspection and it's got to pass with flying colors. Or I need an inspection, and if we find stuff, I'm going to need you to repair some of this stuff. Another contingency that's been really a big killer for a lot of people right now is, I got to sell my home first before I buy yours. Especially with a lot of offers coming in, if you've got 3 offers that say, I don't need to sell my home, I've just got 1 or 2 contingencies over here. I mean, if you've got to sell your home first, I mean, your offer is pretty much off the table. And that's in today's market. Now, if you're looking at a home and it's been on the market for 3 months, that's not a bad contingency. I'm talking about the home that everyone else wants, and it's hit the market. You know, your realtor knows it's not going to last a week. You got to have as minimal contingencies as possible. And that's what the whole tip is about. It's about minimizing your contingencies. Now, if you do have to sell your home and the dream house comes up, there are ways around it, you know, working again with a realtor that understands the financing options, your lender that understands financing options. You can always do what's called a bridge loan, which is a temporary short-term loan that allows you to make that purchase, take that contingency off the table, and it allows you to sell your home then. Once it's sold, you pay off the loan, you moved on. And so, I know some of you watching this video right now are going to go, I don't want to do a bridge loan. I go back to my immediate first question of this whole video. How serious are you about buying this home? If you're not that serious, a lot of these tips are going to just be to you. But if you're super serious, you're going to take every single one of these tips to heart, and you're probably going to be implementing them as quickly as possible, because each one that you do is going to be just an incredible step towards increasing your chances of making that home purchase. So try to minimize your contingencies. I understand that some are non-negotiable. It is what it is. I'm just letting you know, whatever you can get rid of, you definitely want to try to take them off the table, especially when it comes to making your offer stand out among the rest. Well, I hope these tips helped you a little bit. Maybe you've not thought about these before. Maybe your realtor that you're talking to right now has told you a lot of these, and you just need another realtor, second opinion, saying, yeah, no, this is kind of legit. You really, really need to do some of these things. And I know, again, it might be hard, but just remind yourself, ask yourself, how serious am I about buying this home? Especially in today's market, you've got to be serious. Okay, you cannot just be lackadaisical about it. Especially if it's in the right neighborhood, right school district, even if you don't have kids. If the house is in the right school district, other parents want, believe me, they're going to go fight for that house. And they're going to really, really want that house. So just kind of think about these tips as you go along through this process. If you are trying to buy that home, ladies and gentlemen, and you're in the Lexington area, Richmond, Georgetown, Paris, wherever it is, let me know. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Shoot me a text. Shoot me a call. Let me know that you're trying to do this, and we'll do everything that we can to make that process a little smoother for you, a little less stressful, and having that right agent is going to make a huge difference in the world. If you are, just watching this video from afar and you just needed some help, I hope I did give you some help. Go ahead and click the video, like video button. I do appreciate it. It's going to help those who are trying to research a little bit more about buying in today's market. It's going to make the job a little bit less stressful for them. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. This is Ben Murphy. I'm with eXp Realty here at Living in Lexington. Y'all have a good day.